All right, welcome everybody. This is going to be a recap of this last Friday's trading, which was on the 14th of July, 2023. Thought I'd do something a little bit differently today because I want to show you a couple things here that we always look at whenever we're making a trade. Of course, first thing we always do is we look at our watch list. Now remember, I run a watch list every morning. We do provide to everybody that's actively involved in our Discord channel. And from that active watch list, I'm going to select the stocks that have the best setups or the best pattern setups. I do have 4 different patterns that I look at. And then what I'll do is I'll also compare it to the current order book. And I want to show you that. This is actually a good representation of volume, but it also gives me a really good representation of what they call COB, which is the current order book, and I'll explain this here in just a second. So and then we'll look at the overall results for the day. I did not trade any indices on Friday. Didn't trade any gold, didn't trade any natural gas, which is usually what I'm looking at. Didn't trade any crude oil. So I had nothing on the future side, nothing on the indices side, but I did trade stocks. And the biggest play was PRFX. So those that are in the room knows that I was buying PRFX, and I'll show you exactly why. Okay, so this came in around 940. All right, came in around 940, and it was actually an HF1 buy. Okay, and I did have a target up here, a profit target up here, and PRFX just took off. All right, it just once again, always looking for those parabolic moves. I do like to get into a market before the open. In this case, I did not, but I was able to catch this move here early enough to catch the thrust up. So how did I end up doing that? Well, first of all, we did show that it was going to be a stock that was going to have a lot of volatility to it, all right, and have the potential of having a nice move to the upside. Then I come in and I look at my patterns, and we had a nice little HF1 develop after the opening. And then the third thing I was looking at is I was also looking at the current order book. Now, what this shows here, okay, is it shows the resting orders. Okay, so basically the pending orders of buyers and sellers. And if you look at this representation over here, just look at the green over here, you can see a lot more buyers obviously than sellers. All right, so, and also you can see the size of the orders coming in. So obviously if you have bigger size down here and less size up here, then there's an indication that you're going to be running into a lot less resistance. And remember, that's what we want. We want a market that's not going to run into resistance. And what is resistance? It's a wall of sellers. So we like to see this thinning out. So when we do get into a trade, we have much higher probability again of moving much higher because we don't see a lot of the resistance coming in. Now, as the trade develops, we keep an eye on this and we see if we're starting to build a wall of sellers. So if I do hit a profit level, okay, in this case, and I do see some possible selling coming in, I'll go ahead and I'll take my profit. If I don't see that, then I'm going to probably try to hold it and see if I can't get a further out target on Einstein, assuming that I do have a pattern setting up on a longer time frame. Longer time frame meaning that it may take longer to hit that target that Einstein is projecting, but every single one of the targets continue to have over 70% probability that they will get hit. So I got a lot of things going for us here when we're using Einstein in combination with the patterns, and then also taking a closer inside peek into what's actually going on in the market to see if this is going to be something that's going to happen fairly quickly or if it's going to happen over time. Okay, so this up here, this book map, what's called book map, does not indicate whether a pattern or Einstein is going to be successful. It's more of an indication of how quickly I'm going to hit my levels, and that's what I'm looking for. I don't want to be in the market very long. I want to get into these stocks that have a higher probability hitting their levels sooner than later. All right. So it doesn't have anything to do with adding any type of probability to it. It's more probability of will it explode? Will it tend to go higher? So I can look at Einstein levels and try to get out at much higher levels. But nonetheless, that's what I did on PRFX. I also want to show you one other trade I made with Bookmap, so you can kind of see how that lined up as well. This line right here is where I entered, which also corresponds to Bookmap, and you can see it's a nice representation of the order size coming in. Obviously, the bigger the bubbles, the more buying. So you can see you had a little bit of selling, and then bam, 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 a lot of buying. Then there's a rest period here. Okay, so let's look at this other stock here. All right, so here we go. This is NKLA. I hope you guys can kind of see this. I had to stretch the charts out a little bit so you can kind of line it up a little bit. But anyway, we entered this fairly early. Okay, this once again, and this was actually the first trade of the day that I made on NKLA. It was a buy, and once again, it was also an HF1 buy, and it came out shortly after 8:30 in the morning. Once again, these are all Eastern time, and you can see market was pretty flat at this time. Okay, we didn't really have any heavy selling. If you look up here on these lines up here, this is where the selling is, right? This is where the heavy selling is. And as this becomes darker, that means the size is starting to go up. If it's really light, like you can see, like if it was yellow or maybe a light blue, it just means it's very light. Okay, so once we entered the order, we did hold on to this for quite a while. We were in it for almost an hour on this trade, but look what happened here. Okay, so once again, still holding on to the target. This was an HF1 buy. I had a nice little pattern setting up. I did have a couple targets up here, but I want to show you something. When it started hitting this first target, which came in around 937, which was around 286. You can see it got really excited right here. Then it came down, then it started going back up. As it started going back up, one thing I want you to notice, okay, is that you can see we're going up and we're coming into this wall of sellers up here. All right, so in this case, I didn't want to hold out much longer because I felt that once we hit $3, look at that size of ticket. We have a lot of orders sitting up there, right? I have a lot of sellers sitting up here at $3. And you can see that the buying started tapering off here and the selling started increasing. All right. So that tells me that if I'm looking for a quick profit, I'm going to go ahead and get out. I don't want to hold it any longer. I'm not going to hold it and try to go for much higher targets. I want to go ahead and get out and take my profit because I'm beginning to see the wall of sellers coming in. Okay, so didn't make a lot of money on NKLA, but this is the beauty of not only watching volume, all right, but also having that additional insight, okay, like level 2, having that visual insight, which I like, being able to see when those orders are starting to come, creating that wall, that resistance up there where it's going to have a hard time breaking through. So go ahead and I'll take my profit and get out. So how did I do overall? Let's take a look at the results for Friday. All right, so here we go. Here's the overall results. See, I had a fantastic day on Friday. Very surprised. Okay, so a couple things. These are the watch list. This is the morning watch list that went out in the morning. This one comes out in the afternoon, all right? Because once again, we're trying to see if we have any opportunities in the afternoon, which they call the power hour. It's usually the last hour of the day. And a lot of times you'll see either continuation, okay, of a stock that's been moving, and or some stocks start to heat up towards the end of the day. So we want to take advantage of a little bit of that. Once again, in most cases, most of your money is going to be made first thing in the morning. So it's not something you have to do. You don't have to trade. And I don't necessarily recommend that people trade during power hour. Okay, that's going to be a little bit more for experience. I just think that you're going to have a better opportunity trading first thing in the morning than you are in the afternoon. All right, it's a little bit trickier. And you'll see that in my results here. But as you can see, I had NKLA and PRFX. That's why I was trading these two on Friday, you can see NKLA, once I said it, made a little bit of money. But here's what was the big one, the PRFX. If you recall from that chart, you can see that you have some huge bubbles coming in, right? A lot of buying coming in. You didn't see so much of it in NKLA until it started getting up to that target. But still, nothing like we saw on PRFK. So that means a ton of interest in PRFK. Nobody was really willing to step in to sell it, which we saw. So that gives us a little bit more confidence to carry it further up than we would if we're into something like NKLA. All right, so that was on the morning watch list. Let's see what else. Afternoon, not too much. YANG, I lost $4. These were just not going anywhere. Now, of course, keep in mind we're trading in the afternoon on a Friday. Fridays can be kind of iffy as it is. A lot of people take off. They make their trades in the morning, then they're done for the day. So a little bit of loss on YANG. Same with BCG. All right. And what else? There was one I made a little bit of money on. It wasn't very much. RD, yeah, was it RD? Yeah, RDHL was on there. And made a little bit of money on RDHL. All right. So anyway, that's pretty typical for an afternoon, but a lot of times these numbers are going to be a little bit bigger based on the fact that it's a Friday afternoon. It's either going to do something or it's not. Most cases, it's not going to do anything, but your risk is so small. So that's why I like to take that with the probability of maybe catching a nice little move. And then again, Fridays is typically not when you're going to see it. All right. That's when you're going to see people lightening up on their positions or no day traders coming in. That's going to be in the morning, but also in the morning, you're going to see a lot of lightning coming in, particularly short sellers. So that being said, very good day on Friday. So if you would like, I'm giving everybody a great opportunity here. If you'd like to get into the Discord channel, okay, you can watch me trade. You'll get this morning watch list. You'll get this afternoon watch list. You're also going to be able to hear my trades, my entries, my exits, what I'm in, what I'm not in, all right, at a very reasonable $50. I'm not expecting anybody to come in and buy my package. Of course, my package right now is all inclusive, all right. You used to be able to buy it in segments, but we got away from that because I really want everybody to have everything, all my tools, everybody's on the same page. Plus, it provides more opportunities when you're starting to trade things like crystal ball and looking at some of these stronger patterns using Einstein and everything. So, but it's not for everybody, okay? But that doesn't mean you can't still take advantage of my use of the tools and watch how I trade, all right? So it's very reasonable, $50 for a whole month. You'll get my overnight setups. You'll get my morning watch list. You'll see the stocks that I'm looking at, and then I'll tell you which ones that I'm actually watching and getting into that have patterns setting up. I won't disclose the patterns, but I'll tell you which patterns they are and which ones I'm buying. All right. If you're somebody that's interested in short selling, you can always do a shout out, and I'd be glad to look at it. But right now, I'm focusing just on buys. And then, of course, the same thing with the futures, same thing with the indices. So I love trading indices, and I also enjoy trading futures because I've been doing it. That's really where I started my career 40 years ago. So that being said, $50. If you're interested, let me know. They're working on getting the website, put that into the website. If you like to get in before all the links and everything are finished on the website as they clean it up, just drop me a note, Innovative Trading Strategies, and we'll get you set up, get you access to the live Discord channel, and we'll just take it from there. Okay, so very reasonable, not a lot of risk. It's really for $50, you're going to be able to see that everything I'm showing you here is legit. And I don't provide you with after the fact stats. All right, I do trade live, and I want you to see it live, because that is going to be the best proof for you. I'm not going to show you results every 2 or 3 weeks like most people do. When they have a good day, they post it. I'm in there every single day, win, lose, draw, whatever the case may be, unless I'm not available. But I'm trading 99.9% of the time. All right. So you'll have an opportunity to see just how powerful these tools are. That are my own tools, things I developed over 35 years ago. Took me a long time to develop these tools and to simplify the process. All right. Most people don't understand the importance of simplicity. The other thing is a lot of people don't understand the beauty of something that's non-optimizable, meaning that it's not like something you're going to have to be changing. These patterns are set in place. They're not going to change. They're black and white. The entries, the exits, everything's black and white, just like Einstein. Its levels are black and white, so you never have to worry about changing the parameters. And after 35 years, I've seen all kinds of markets. Nothing has changed. The probabilities have not changed. And I think anybody that's a serious trader would be a mistake not to try it out. So if you're skeptical, I understand. I'm skeptical of most people that trade. I see them on the internet. But for $50, let me prove to you that this is really what I think is the best way to trade the markets. All right. That being said, everybody have a good day. And once again, we'll be back Monday morning doing this again. First half an hour is open to everybody. And then after that, we continue on in our Discord channel. Take care.